Good morning, dear partners. Welcome to SYNNEX webinar about Red Hat Enterprise Linux. We have some attendees already, so I think we are ready to get started to go through the slides about what is Red Hat Enterprise and why it might be better for you than any free Linux. If you don't know me, I am Henri Paasovaara, located in Espoo, Finland, and I'm solution architect and pre-sales roles at SYNNEX. If you don't know what is SYNNEX, it's a ICT, information communication technology, software and hardware distributor company. So we buy products from different vendors like Red Hat, hardware manufacturers like Dell or HPE and so on. And then we sell these to our resellers. And then resellers sell these to end customers. So we are in between of the line of selling things. We are helping a lot of Red Hat, for example, to sell products because they don't have enough hands to sell these things or let people know what are the products and how those can be used. So my role is pretty technical as I have a technical background. I have been like Red Hat instructor, Red Hat consultant, also worked elsewhere like on IBM, on AT&T and Google on my journey. I started to use Unix systems in 1992 when I was studying in university. And then quite soon I found a Linux, which was brand new version, kernel version was 0.9 something. So 1993, my first Unix or Linux was Slackware. And then on screen you can see my LinkedIn contacts if you are willing to follow me over there. So the topics. Why pay for free Linux when you don't need to pay for other versions of it? My father was a long time ago wondering, because I talk a lot about Linux, that why nobody's using Linux and if it's free. And then he decided that if it's free, it might not be that good because paid things are better because it's made by money and that way. So I don't know if people say that Linux is free or at least cheap, so it couldn't be good one, but I'm not sure. You can decide if free is better than paid product. The topics that we are looking for. First, we take a look of Red Hat Access Portal, how to log into Red Hat, what you can find from there, and then we go through the main SKU codes. SKU codes are the products what you can buy from resellers, and resellers can buy from us, and we buy from Red Hat. Then we take a look of RHEL features. So this is the actual topic. What makes it better than any other free Linux? And then what are the capabilities there and how to manage if you have tens or hundreds of Linux systems, centralized managed systems. Then we take a look of RHEL AI, what AI features there are included and where you could run it on. The AI is very hot topic at the moment, so that's why I included on this presentation as well. Then we take a look of developer subscriptions. We compare the subscriptions between different use cases, like how to get the free evaluations, how you can join to Red Hat training and workshops, and if you are interested for personal use, how you could get Red Hat Enterprise Linux for free. That's the way how many people have started to use Linux, and that's why Linux skills are easy to learn because you don't need to pay for free Linuxes. But how about RHEL? So portals and logging to Red Hat. The main thing on Red Hat, why you would pay it, is that you can get a lot of free or paid services from Red Hat. So when you log into Red Hat portal, you can access not only the documentation, but also additional insights, information of the Red Hat Enterprise Linux and other Red Hat products. First of all, you may need a Red Hat account. If you go to main page like www.redhat.com, in the top right corner, you see a small part where you can click in and create an account. Or if you already have a Red Hat account, you can log in from there. With login account, you can access documentation, how-tos, and additional information. Like Red Hat is collecting a lot of questions, like frequently asked questions, and showing it for everyone that what's being asked at the moment. So docs.redhat.com, that's the really good source for your information, like how to install RHEL or how to enable like identity management software and so on. Also, there is access.redhat.com where you can track your paid subscription usage. And from there, you can also download installation media. If you have recently bought Red Hat, you would need to have a Red Hat login for first, because your new RHEL would be installed into access.redhat.com. So with that login, you can see what you have bought, and then you can download the installation media, and then you can start using it. Of course, you need to register your RHEL system to get started and have support for it, and also includes the updates. Then Red Hat has Insights. Actually, it's new name for it. It's what was the name of the new version of Red Hat Insights? So the Insight service is where you can track your computer health, RHEL health. It's the rightmost window on this picture. So here you can track like how many subscriptions you have active, what are expiring soon if you need to renew your subscriptions, and then if you have expired, but also you can track like security updates are missing, or if there are some bad configurations left on your system. So Insight service will give you a warnings about it. So I recommend enabling the Insight service from RHEL, and then it will upload the information to Red Hat portal where you can track it. When you have created your account, it can be attached to company profile as well. This is pretty useful if you have a lot of Linux system admins and you have bought a lot of Linux subscriptions, RHEL subscriptions. All your users can start managing and tracking the systems on Red Hat portal. So the support, that's the main thing for paying Red Hat. Typically, Red Hat support works via web ticketing system. It was on the access.redhat.com page, but also support can be reached via email and telephone. Depending what kind of RHEL subscription you buy, you can get a premium support, which is 24/7. And when you have created a ticket, of course, you select how urgent your problem is. The ticket will follow the sun. It means that after the European time, the sun goes to the United States or Americas. So the ticket will be transferred there and they can track your ticketing there. And after that, it goes to Far East. And from there, it comes back to Europe. So you can get support 24/7. If you like to buy a RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, the SKU code would be RH00003, which is meant for one physical computer, or you can run two virtual machines with a single subscription. Red Hat subscriptions earlier covered two physical CPU sockets with this subscription. And as it was for two physical sockets, it also covers two virtual machines with the single subscriptions. And also the premium support has a feature named EUS, Extended Update Support. Red Hat support works that typically if you don't have EUS or you have a standard Red Hat Enterprise Linux installation, standard support, if you have an issue on Red Hat software, you need to update it to the latest. But sometimes you cannot update to the latest version, like you are running software which requires certain version, like RHEL 9.9.7 or 8. Then you won't get support unless you update to the latest version. But if you have a premium support, you don't need to have the latest version. And then with the standard, the SKU code is RH00004. It also covers one physical system with two CPU sockets, or same way, two virtual machines. But the support is on the office hours in Europe. Okay, in Finland, we are 1 hour ahead, and on the western side of Europe, like UK time zone, it's still 2 hours, 3 hours late from Finnish time. So these are still covered pretty well, and 5 days per week, work days. And then there is an option for self-support. It's available for RHEL as well, but it's not recommended to be used because it covers only one physical machine, okay, two CPU sockets, but there are no support. And actually the pricing for this RH0005 is that you cannot run it on virtual machines, only one physical system. And as I said, there are no support, but if you would like to have support or you would run it on virtual machines, you should buy the standard version because you could run two virtual machines with the standard support, and self-support is only for one virtual machine or one physical machine. Actually, officially they say that it can be run only on the physical system. And if you buy two for virtual machine use, then the RH0004 is actually the same price with support. So I recommend using standard at least. Then there are features named unlimited RHELs. These are made for the virtual machines. Like if you have a hypervisor, a virtualization with hypervisors, like 3 hypervisors, and you would like to run unlimited number of RHELs, no matter how many, you should buy a subscription for each hypervisor. Like I said, 3 hypervisors. You could buy 3 RH00001 or 2. And then with those hypervisors where you bought these, you can run unlimited number of RHELs. So it means that with this, one hypervisor can run like 20 RHELs. Of course, it's getting cheaper the more you can push your RHEL servers on your hypervisor. And if you have 3 of them, all the systems can run as many RHELs as it fits into your hypervisor, into virtualization platform. Sometimes, like if you have 6 hypervisors and you can create a rule that these RHEL systems run only on these 3, then you are fine as well. Because then the other 3 systems won't run RHELs if you have rules for that, and then you can keep running unlimited RHELs on these 3 hypervisors. And the same support is available for unlimited RHELs as well. Then extended lifecycle support, ELS. That's for support if you need to run old version of RHEL. Like if you need to run RHEL version 7, you should have ELS, extended lifecycle support. It means that you get support from Red Hat, but also you get software updates for it. Of course, it's getting more expensive when you pay for the regular subscription like a standard, and then you add ELS on top of that. So it's getting more and more expensive. If possible, please update your systems to the latest RHELs, RHEL 8, 9, or 10. But RHEL 8 will also get out of support quite soon, about a year or so from now. If you have questions, use the Q&A option on Teams, so you can add your questions. Actually, I cannot track it at the moment, but I can check now and then. So why RHEL? There's a nice sentence. Free Linux gives you the operating system. RHEL gives you a managed, secure, and supported platform with automation and accountability. So nice features coming with paid Linux. RHEL is secure by design. When Red Hat built the enterprise Linux, the security was the most important thing. A lot of people say that Linux is secure much more secure than any other operating system. But of course, there are still vulnerabilities found now and then, not only the operating system itself, but mainly the add-on software, what you run in top of Linux systems. Red Hat has a feature called SE Linux, Security Enhanced Linux. That's the tool which maintains the security for unsecure software as well. Like, let's think you are running a web application, and if the web application has a security issue, so you can get kind of remote commands on the web server, then with SE Linux, it can protect your web server that if the user hacks into the web server, they cannot do anything else. They cannot start downloading additional software like hacking tools or getting root access to the systems. With SE Linux, it will protect your systems. Traditional Linux security is made so like if you hack into web server runs on port 80, as you know. On port 80, it's a limited port that only root can run services over there. And if web server is running as a root and you hack in, you are also as a root. But luckily, it's not that simple because web servers are not run as a root anymore. It's run as a HTTPD or it's run as a web user. But as a web user, you still can do a lot of things, except on SE Linux, it will restrict your access that you can do only web server things. Sometimes web server can access like a databases when you have a web application that requires additional data from database. So web server can access the database information. But with SE Linux, it also restricts that, sorry, if you hacked in via web server, you cannot access database anymore. Also, Red Hat has a compliance tooling, so you can measure and check your systems if they are valid for security requirements, like running audits for your Linux systems. And it's included on RHEL. Of course, for free Linuxes, you can download the software separately. Operational efficiency. You can automate. your RHEL installation. Updates can be automated. Also, you should standardize your server environment. Have as many similar systems as you have everything else. So don't have like 10 different Linux vendors and 10 different kind of installations for them. That's why automated installation makes all the installation pretty much same and standard. So you should simplify your Linux management. Use as standard environments as possible. That's called SOE, Standard Operational Environment. Then hybrid cloud consistency. So if you run certain Linuxes on public cloud or anywhere else, you should have same operating system everywhere. Of course, would recommend Red Hat Enterprise Linux because of the features. And then on the edge side, on the remote far end, like cashier systems on some shops, having the standard operation systems should be similar. So if you need to change your cash register system, having it same is much easier than have separate installations everywhere. And then I mentioned these insights, proactive support. So if you enable the insights service on your RHEL, it generates you recommendations and remediation information on the Red Hat web portal. So you can track how safe and secure systems you have. So with Red Hat Enterprise Linux, you would have a consistent, secure, automated platform for your modern workloads. Okay, modern workloads are nowadays the containers, which is of course a nice thing to have. And with Red Hat Enterprise Linux, you can run containers on it. So already mentioned about provisioning and standardization. Red Hat installation has Kickstart. You can create like an environment with PXE network boot where your RHEL systems would be automatically installed for systems which don't have operating system. So brand new hardware servers or virtual machines can be network booked, and it will install your configured Linux environment with Kickstart. It's much easier than any other way. I heard of Debian Linux has pretty much similar, but Red Hat has well documented this automated installation. Image Builder. This is typically for edge computing. Image Builder is a tool installed on Red Hat Enterprise Linux, or you can install it there, where you can configure what kind of installation images you should have. Like if you know that you are going to install RHEL on Azure Cloud, you can select image type to be Azure machine image, and then configure what kind of RHEL you would like to have there, what software would be installed, what user accounts would be created, and so on. So with RHEL, you can create your own images. Same is for the edge computer system, like I mentioned, cash register systems somewhere far away. You can create an image and deploy that image into USB stick and send that USB stick to remote location where somebody plugs it in and boots the installation media. So then it will be as you described on image building process. So standard operational environment, that would be beneficial for you to have. Security and compliance, as I mentioned, SE Linux. It has mandatory access control, which restricts processes accessing something that they shouldn't be doing. Like if you hack into web server, you cannot access mail services because they are not on the same. Then Red Hat has OpenSCAP, which is compliance automation tool. OpenSCAP can collect you information from your Linux installations, especially on RHEL installations, and you can see if it's compliant for certain requirements. And then Red Hat has FIPS ready cryptography algorithms. For now, everybody's worried about these quantum computers because they can encrypt or decrypt your data pretty easily and open your secrets. So Red Hat has protection for that already. Then Red Hat has pretty unknown feature, but I would recommend you to take a look. Identity and access management. Red Hat has own identity management software named IPA. It's based on free IPA project. So it has LDAP server, it has Kerberos ticketing system, and it has DNS, and it has certification management, and so on. So with Red Hat IPA, you can generate pretty much similar like Windows World has Active Directory. You install like a 2-3 Red Hat IPA servers, and then they start replicating data between each other. And on the web interface, you can start creating user accounts, create access rules, who can access what Linux servers and with what protocols. And then all your other Linux systems, you register to this IPA server. So then they will authenticate users from IPA server. I would recommend you to take a look of IPA server information on Red Hat documentation. Also, RHEL has Active Directory integration. So if your company is already using Active Directory, or what is the latest name for it, so users can be authenticated with Active Directory. Also, IPA can be used to authenticate from Active Directory, but then it adds Linux features for user authentication. So your Linux systems would be registered to IPA server, and IPA server can get user credentials from Active Directory. So that would be very, very useful for many Linux users, especially if you have tens of Linux systems, so you don't manage local accounts anymore. Lifecycle management. Red Hat has nice features and tools for patch management and lifecycle. Red Hat Satellite is an add-on service where you can register all your RHEL Linux systems to Satellite server. And Satellite server is taking care of and tracking the software versions you're running. Like if there are updates available for certain systems, you can list them that which systems have critical updates waiting for, which systems have bug fixes available, and so on. So Satellite is very useful for managing like tens of Linux systems. Red Hat Satellite has also some Ansible automation features. So you can push certain configurations from Satellite. So not only the updates, but also configurations. And then you can push third-party software as long as those are on RPM packages or container images. So Satellite is really useful for big environments. Also, if you have like a software development, you have a dev environments, test environments, pre-production environments, and real production environments. With Satellite, you can do the patching that the latest updates are always on development side. And when Red Hat updates and software is tested with your own software, then it can be taken to test environment, which has the second latest software updates. And then you could push that to the pre-production and at the end to the real production. And with Satellite, you can push certain critical updates directly to production environment as well. So I will recommend using Satellite for the big environments. Then I have mentioned this Red Hat Insights, which is this proactive analytics on Red Hat portal. The Insights idea is based on AI, which Red Hat was learning like maybe 10 years ago from then. When people were sending tickets to Red Hat about the issues they had, Red Hat was collecting this information about bug reports, about configuration issues, and so on. So Red Hat has a huge database of problems people have had. Also, Red Hat is using SOS report tool, which collects information about the systems. And when you have an issue, you send the SOS report to Red Hat, and Red Hat kept it safe on their side. And later on, if you were asking that, okay, I have this kind of configuration and I have this kind of problem. So Red Hat AI can collect information from old ticketing systems. Oh, I see that this user had similar configuration and they had a similar issue and it was fixed like this way. So this AI kind of analysis will give you proactive analytics of your environments. So you can get warnings like you have a storage system configured and you have this kind of configuration for it. And for some reason, you don't have the latest firmware updates for your storage environment. So this configuration and this firmware version is causing problems. So you can get a warning that, by the way, you should either update your configuration or you should update the firmware version. And then I mentioned this ELS, Extended Lifecycle Support. It will make your life easier because you don't need to update always to the latest version of your free Linux. Are you able to get updates for your non-rel environments like 10 years? Are you guaranteed that it's still available? Then Red Hat Automation. I have mentioned shortly about Ansible. Ansible integration, that's nice tool for environments where you have tens or hundreds of ICT systems, network equipment, switches, routers, firewalls, Wi-Fi base stations, and all this can be configured automatically with Ansible. So you can push configuration settings even to the Windows servers, virtualization systems, and so on. Also, Red Hat has pre-built system roles on RHEL Linux. So this Ansible automation is excellent for managing not only the RHELs, but many others. And you can integrate this Ansible and Red Hat Satellite even together, and even with insights. So there are a lot of nice features coming. Like if you go to web portal and you see some issue on your insights view, you can click the button and it will launch Ansible automation that will push fix for your environment. Very easy to start managing your environments. And then I mentioned about image mode. If you install RHEL server and then you can install additional image configuration tool so you can start building images. And for remote deployment, image mode is also nice that you keep your remote server as a read-only as possible, which means that you cannot break the systems too easily. Or if you break some configuration, you just reboot and then it's back to original stage. Need to speed up a bit. Containers and application development. Red Hat has Podman tool to run containers on your Linux. It's a container runtime and good feature on it compared to Docker. Podman is compatible with Docker, but Podman doesn't need a root access or a daemon process running in the background. Podman is rootless way of running container applications. I use Podman a lot, and it's really nice way of installing third-party applications to your Linux environments. For the containers, Red Hat has also universal base images, which means if you have a RHEL server and then you need to run certain older RHEL versions for your certain software, you can push your software into container with that Red Hat software, Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system as a universal base image. Like you are running RHEL 10, the latest, and you need to run RHEL 8 applications. So you can install universal base image of RHEL 8 and install software in that into container, and then it runs on RHEL 10. That's nice. With container environments, you have a lot of programming languages and versions available, so you don't need to have always the same version of the software for all your applications. So different versions at the same time running on your environment. RHEL has virtualization features. It's based on KVM, as all the Linux virtualization is. And Red Hat has libvirt tools, which means how to manage your virtual machines. I like that KVM virtualization. It's excellent for running test environments on your physical system. And with libvirt, you can use a lot of different management tools to manage your virtual machines. Like our demo environment is using KVM based on top of RHEL, and libvirt is the graphical user interface, web management interface, and so on. And Red Hat has performance tuning tools. So if you need to have a power saving features, you can tune the settings to be a power saving. Or if you have a need for very high performance needs, you can use the setup for that kind of configuration. Red Hat is hybrid cloud ready. You can run it on bare metal. You can run it on virtualization environment. You can run it on cloud, almost on any public cloud, and you can run it on edge devices. So it's pretty much the same everywhere, no matter how you run it. I mentioned already about identity management. That's included on RHEL. There are a lot of different databases available. If you install RHEL, there are mail servers, web servers, application servers, and so on. All these are included on RHEL installation. Then some advanced features. I already mentioned about compliance regulatory needs. Red Hat can be certified for these regulations and compliance requirements. And Red Hat has audible proof of security tools where you can collect information and show that yes, our system is configured as secure as possible. Then Red Hat has real-time kernel available if needed for video or voice over IP gateways, and it will provide you microsecond level latency. So there are no delays when your data needs to be passed to the next place, like if it's a voice over IP call or video feed that you need to have a real time. Then Red Hat has high availability add-on. So on high availability, you create computer cluster like 3 servers, and they follow each other that are you okay, and then they run software which needs to be highly available. So if one system or software fails, then the high availability makes sure that the software is still run on another computer elsewhere. It has nice features to transfer the data, transfer the software, the services, the IP addresses, and everything to secondary system. And then there are features available like GFS, Global File System version 2, which means that multiple computers can access same block devices at the same time. Then HALVM, which means the LVM logical volume managements can be available for other systems. HA proxy, it has fencing that you can shut down the remote computer when it has locked, like the IP address can be released from the hanging system. So fencing is the way how to release the one. And Pacemaker is the software which is managing the cluster environment. So, outcome. improve your security, compliance, reduce operational overhead with automation. Some of the features are included already for free or included on the price, and some can be bought as an add-on. You can accelerate your cloud and container adoption because the containers are built in the features there. No need to install third-party container software. And then you should standardize your infrastructure. It will lower your cost and risk because all the systems are pretty much the same. Then how to manage these systems. Red Hat Enterprise Linux has graphical cockpit named feature where you can use the web browser to manage your RHEL server, no matter if it's a physical or virtual. I love the cockpit interface. You can manage your containers from there. You can manage your virtual machines from there. You can access the terminal from there, install software, install updates, check for the storage, configure the networking, and so on. A lot of nice features on the web interface. And of course, Linux has command line interface over the SSH or logging from the terminal. And pretty new feature is AI assistant command line tool. This is a bit more about that. I think you have heard of comparison between pets and cattle. Pets are the system which has a name, you take care of it, and typically these are kind of personal computers what you take care of. You install manually the updates, you fix the problems there, but the cattle is more like a cloud computers. If the system doesn't work, you just reinstall it and then it should work again. But cockpit is for managing single system manually. It has web interface. You can do a lot of management there. And on the command line work, which is the main way of managing Linux systems, there is an AI-assisted system administration tool, brand new feature on Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Lightspeed command line assistant, which is using generative AI. And from there you can ask, like from your colleague, but you ask from AI, how do I do something? Like how to write a one-line script that will add user and set a password to a 12-character random value. And then AI will figure out what you are asking for and gives you the view how you could do it. So few examples of how to use this, like create LVM volume with 100 gigabytes of storage. So it will suggest the commands what to do. Or you can ask why this service is failing. So it will give you troubleshooting steps, how to analyze it. Pretty nice thing. And I think it works on latest RHEL 10 and RHEL 9 versions, if installed. I've seen that it was a container at the first, but now it might be possible to run it without. AI, as we started about it already. So if you would like to run AI things, you could use the OpenShift AI Enterprise. That's the key product for Red Hat. It has a lot of features, a lot of possibilities what you could do with AI. You can start developing your own container applications with it and access to language models you prefer to use. Also, you can add more information so AI can learn from your own data. Another product from Red Hat is Red Hat Inference Server. That's mainly for the model serving. It has VLLMs and API access. This is like cloud AI services with API access. So if you would prefer to have your private or in-company own AI, You can choose your language model and have API access for that AI tool. And then all your people in the company can access that AI feature. No need to pay for external. But Red Hat Enterprise Linux AI, what does it have? With that, you can teach your private AI language model with your own environment. So you run it on your own data center and on your own hardware. No need to pay for anyone else. And the software is based on InstructLab software, which Red Hat has built into Red Hat Enterprise Linux. From there, you can host language models and interact with, it includes the IBM Granite language model, which is pretty universal and widely used. So you can host that language model, but also you can use any other free language model available on internet. But the best part of it is that you can create and add your own knowledge or skills data. You can teach your language model with your company internal information. Like if you have thousands of help desk ticketing systems, you can feed that data to InstructLab software, and then it will learn how your service desk was helping your customers. So then you can start chatting with your AI or connect with API to your language model, and you can start asking questions. How do I fix this thing as it was asked earlier on your help desk ticketing system? So then it comes pretty much automated AI help desk tool. You have maybe seen on public websites that there are AI bots available. There are good and bad ones available. So this is how you can create your own AI on your own website with your own information. And of course, there are a lot of things to think about, like guardrails generated that don't give any private information or don't leak, like instructions how to build a bomb or gun or whatever. So there are a lot of things to be taken care of. So this is the picture of Red Hat features. So OpenShift AI, what I mentioned, is the biggest part what you can do with AI, with Red Hat AI. Red Hat Enterprise Linux AI, this is coming with RHEL. Its own software packages, includes the RHEL and these AI tools. So it has this InstructLab, you can run VLLMs, and it has Granite models, and it can be run on any kind of hardware, on the PC server, and all kind of GPUs included on it. And then I mentioned about inference server, which is only the VLLMs. And I think it still includes the Granite models on inference server. So what you can do with RHEL AI. LLM model serving. You can choose your language model, but IBM Granite is included. It has inference server with API, so you can connect your external AI tools to it. It has InstructLab, where you can teach your own language model with your private data. Also, when training your own AI, you need to generate synthetic data. So it has tools for generating synthetic data. And it has tools to optimize your language models to be a smaller versions without losing features on your language models. There are a few links here. We will share you this slide so you can take a little later again. So I mentioned that with RHEL AI, it can run on physical server or virtual server and with any GPU. So it supports NVIDIA, of course, it will support Intel, it supports AMD and many other GPUs. You need to have a memory to hold training data and also virtual GPU RAM. So when teaching your language model, it requires a lot of GPU capacity and a lot of memory, RAM memory to teach. You could also have a GPU with many computed units because, as I said, it's needed, and then the disk storage. We have a configuration example here, what kind of system to set up to start using Red Hat AI tools. Okay, then how to test your RHEL system if you haven't done it yet. Free trial for 60 days is available, just for 60 days. With that, you can access Red Hat Lightspeed features. That was the insight, what I forgot the name. For some reason, I didn't update it on earlier pages. It also has a command line assistant, as I mentioned earlier. With this free trial, you can also see the customer portal. You can access documentation, see the videos and discussion forums at Red Hat portal. So 2 months self-supported, so you cannot test the support services, but I can guarantee that it's perfect. Red Hat has won some recognition of the help desk support, and it is really nice thing. Then, if you are willing to start developing software for Red Hat, there is a software available for Linux developers. For the business need, the developer subscriptions are paid services, so you can buy it from your reseller and from us. And then if you are software vendor that you are selling hardware and Red Hat software and your own software, developer subscriptions for independent software vendors are free. But then when you start selling your products, then you start paying for Red Hat. So that's also possible. But for personal use, if you are open source software developer and you would like to use Red Hat Enterprise Linux to make your own software as a public or your internal use, the RHEL subscriptions with self-support are available at Red Hat developers website. There is a link, activate your subscription. So this is only for the personal use. And then Red Hat has interactive demos where you can test Red Hat software features and how things would work there. But these interactive demos require you to log in to Red Hat portal. It's free to be created for a login account, but if possible, create your company profile account. So redhat.com/architect/portfolio and interactive experiences pages have these where you can test Red Hat features. It's very good for training and testing how things would work with Red Hat. Time is running out, so summary, what we were looking for. Comparison table between free and RHEL Linuxes. I don't go through these separately, so you can take a look or show your management that why you should choose Red Hat Enterprise Linux than using free Linuxes without features. 2 pages of here. And very short summary. RHEL, it's enterprise platform with support, with security, with lifecycle automation and predictability. As I said earlier, Red Hat will give you support and updates for 10 years when it was launched originally, like RHEL 10 was launched a year ago, so it still has 9 years left. Free Linux is pretty much like toolbox. It's flexible, cost-free, but requires internal expertise to manage. It requires tooling, and the risk of ownerships is on your side. You take the risk. You cannot ask help, or you can ask help, but it's only for the community support on internet. You can go to Reddit or whatever webpage you like to ask on the chat that, how do I fix my computer or environment? With Red Hat, you can contact support. Thank you. Now I'll check if you had any questions here. Okay, Kenneth had to jump out, but he was asking how to manage only few computers in the company. Okay, it was like this cockpit web interface. That's what I suggest people to use. The cockpit is easy place to manage your things. Even if you know the command line Linux, I still feel easier to do certain things on web interface than going to command line. So it depends how would you like to manage things. Thank you. I hope you got information you were looking for, and if not, you can contact us, or if you are end customer, contact your reseller and ask your reseller to contact TD SYNNEX. Thank you and have a nice day and summer coming. Bye-bye.